And we are live. You can catch us on Rumble and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back with you, Howlers. How's over Baz? I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
And this episode is one of our health and wellness segments, The Power of Placenta. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And everybody later on tonight, everybody's going to want to go to the howlersden.locals. But we're going to get started today. We have a very special guest. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So, hi, Howlers. My name is Samantha. I'm the owner of Nuhealth, Placenta Encapsulation. We've recently rebranded, so I'm really excited. This is our first podcast as Nuhealth. And obviously, as the name says it, we encapsulate placentas. So we mainly are dealing with pregnant women that have just had babies, and really harnessing the power of their placenta and what their placenta can do for them in terms of a lot of the challenges that happen after you have a baby, you know, like breastfeeding, hormone rebalancing, energy levels. I mean, there's so much to having a baby that your placenta can, you know, provide you a lot of support for. So that's what we do. We're based in IE. We've been doing this for the last 7 years. August was actually our anniversary, our 7-year anniversary. So really excited to just share on your platform all about Nuhealth.
That's great. So I kind of want to dive in a little bit. So placenta, okay? Because for the people in the Inland Empire, they're not fully educated.
Why just the Inland Empire? Like,
I'm not going to hate on the Inland Empire,
everywhere.
but I just want to say
that everywhere.
For the people that don't know what placenta is,
Everywhere.
Can you give them a little? Okay, girl. If you get them
coming in hot on the IE today.
No, I love you, the IE. Hey, I love you, IE. But let's just go. Give a little bit of what placenta is.
Sure.
You know, why don't we go dive into that?
I like how you're emphasizing placenta, because I get people that say, "Oh, placentia" or placenta. I'm like, no, it's placenta.
I never even heard of that. Like placenta. What?
Placenta. Well, like the city placenta.
Oh yeah.
Those are people from the IE that say it like
that. Right, exactly.
Rico, you know what I'm saying?
No.
So the placenta happens when you're pregnant, and it's a pretty incredible organ that a woman makes all on her own.
I've seen it come out.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
It's pretty weird, right? You're like, oh, it's just kind of
it's like a grocery bag full of
exactly.
Yuckiness.
Full of like meat.
Yeah.
So basically what it does is when you're pregnant, it sustains baby, right? It takes everything that you're putting into your body, filters it, and gives baby all the good stuff. But what it does for you is it takes over for your endocrine system, which means all of your hormone-producing organs kind of go on like a reverse maternity leave. So what it does is it produces all of the hormones for a woman's body while she's pregnant. So the idea of the encapsulation part of it is once you birth that placenta, because he said, you know, after you have a baby, then that comes out too. So you're having 2 births. But what it does is you're able to replenish those hormones back into your body because you're left depleted, completely depleted after you give birth. And that endocrine system doesn't fully like reboot itself for about 6 to 8 weeks. So you're left with nothing. Hence the crying, hence the rage, hence the I'm out of control. Oh yeah.
So that's where the postpartum comes in.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And postpartum, just to kind of reference, because this was something new to me before I had a kid. Postpartum references those, you know, few months after you have a baby. A lot of people think of postpartum as, you know, postpartum depression and you know, postpartum anxiety and things like that. But postpartum is technically a 4th trimester, right? But that postpartum depression and things like that, that's what people emphasize.
So I was reading a little bit about the postpartum, and it actually helps postpartum. So is it like what percentage of postpartum does it help by is it digesting it or ingesting it or can you drink it? Like, can you explain like how it helps?
Yes. So it's funny that you say that because there's a lot of ways, especially in like Western culture, that they've taken this 1,000-year-old practice because it's based out of traditional Chinese medicine, right? So it's like a 5,000-year-old practice. But we've only recently kind of brought it over into, more of like a Western medicine.
Yeah.
So what it does though is because it's chock full of vitamin B, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, it's got iron, it has hormones, it's got growth hormones. I mean, it's got everything you need. It's perfectly created for you. It's not man-made. It's not manufactured anywhere. So what you're doing is when you're ingesting it, we recommend a dosage. So say like 2-3 times a day, right, for the first week, and then you're slowly tapering off. But what that does is it's slowly replenishing those things dose by dose. So this is where it gets funny. So you said, how do you take it, right? How do you ingest it?
Yeah.
So people have taken it in smoothies. They take it right after birth. They'll chop little pieces up.
Dang,
put it in
that's
their
wild.
mouth.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
There's so many different ways that people.
How does it taste? Have you tasted
I
it?
haven't. Not the,
Wait, so
not
you,
the
so you out here,
actual
you out here
pills,
selling products
yes.
that you haven't tried? I don't know what type of dealer you are.
No, I
She
mean,
tries it in capsule form.
exactly, and
You have tried it in
Oh
capsule
yeah, I did it with
Okay.
my daughter for sure. That's why I started doing this because it was incredible. But yeah, we actually had it was an influencer. He was on MTV. He was one of those that like tries different things and eats weird stuff, and he chopped it up and put it in tacos.
What do you say it tastes like?
I mean, like it's like he said like carne asada,
Okay.
but
Well, see,
like
Mexicans make anything taste
yeah,
good.
exactly.
man.
Carne-
It's
like carne
leg
asada.
You
wad.
eat leg wad, all that cow tongue and everything.
Exactly.
The feet,
So,
all that.
for him it was like no big deal. He's like, yeah, I just cooked it up. But I've never personally tasted it. But there's lots of different ways that can.
So is there with the capsules? Is there milligrams? Like, can you? Because it's not a drug. So, but like,
Right. No, it's just we fill the
or
capsules.
weight it. You,
Well, so what we do is once it's processed, it's steamed, it's dehydrated, then we grind it up into a powder. And the powder is what we use a capsule machine. We pop the capsules in and we just fill them up. So it's not like like you weigh it out or per capsule or anything like that. We just fill them up and then you take them per the dosage.
Okay.
But the fun part is because you mentioned taste, we have flavored capsules. So sometimes it's like a mental thing. You're
Right.
like, I can't take this little placenta. No. So instead, it's like, look at this little strawberry pill or this little bubblegum pill.
turn them into Flintstone pills.
Exactly.
Trying to trick you.
Look, he's like, you ain't tricking me.
Yeah.
I know where this came from. The mommy pill.
Yeah, exactly.
So what got you into this? Because there has to be something behind this. So what got you into this business of wanting? Because you have a personal story behind this of why you came into this business.
Yeah, I think there's kind of two parts to it. So when I was a teenager, I saw something, I think it was like MTV, it was somewhere, about eating their placenta. And it's one of those things that never kind of went away. No idea why. I didn't even know I wanted kids. That wasn't my, goal. But, found myself pregnant and I was like, I have to do it. It was just a very matter of fact, this is what I'm doing. So the process of doing it, learning about it, having, experienced it, it was 4 months after I had my daughter and I was like, you know what? I want to start a business. I had a full-time job. We had a brand new baby and I was like, let's add on something else because it felt like something that was a way of giving back because postpartum is such a difficult thing. It's such a difficult thing to have a kid and to raise a child in those first few months that I wanted to support women in that way. And it's a way to give back, I know that sounds funny because it's very specific. It's like, what do you
You're
mean
literally
giving
giving
back?
back.
Yeah,
Part of
I'm
yourself.
giving you something back.
I'm giving you what you just put out. back.
Exactly, right?
So, with that being said, so are you saying that you did have postpartum and you were looking for a way to get over that?
I think not necessarily postpartum depression. I think just as a whole, it's really difficult to just manage having a
And
brand new
energy
baby.
and everything.
But looking back now, because I didn't have anything to compare it to, I had friends that had babies, at similar ages, and they're like, wow, I'm experiencing this, and, I'm not able to breastfeed, and I'm not able to do this. And I was like, in my head, I'm good. Like, I can do that. I did that. And not in comparison, but just like, okay, like there's something I did differently, obviously. But I think as a whole, it's hard, man. Having a kid and raising this tiny little thing that needs you, it's hard. It's hard all around. So I always tell moms, the more support you have, the better. Why not do something? If they're on the fence, like, well, why should I do it? Does it really work? Take it all. Have all the support,
So how long have you had this business?
Going on 7 years. So 7 years as of August.
And so you said you rebranded. So you just basically just kind of came up with another name for it, or just a new logo? What did you guys end up doing on that?
Well, long story short, we had a falling out. And just
This is good to talk about because we talk a lot about business.
Yeah.
And this has to do with
not just the good part of
Right,
it.
exactly.
So we always want to bring in that. So let's get into that. So what ended up happening, and just so people know, this is the kind of stuff that happens in business.
We have tissue too if you need it.
Oh, thank you.
It's gonna be for him now. It's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
I cry with you if it makes you feel better. I cry with you.
He'll tell the story. Yeah, I know he will.
Thank you. Should I write it out for you first?
You know what I mean?
So go ahead. Tell us a little bit about what happened during this time.
So it's funny. I felt like this was going to come up too. So I think in owning a business, you realize that the entire process is a learning opportunity. And you having businesses yourselves, I think, can understand that. Every negative is just a learning opportunity. And it sounds so cliche to say.
It's true.
No,
though.
it is. It's true.
It's 100%. Because you can even think about those negatives, and they will never ever come to your mind when it actually happens. Then you kind of know what to look for later down the line.
Or not do it again.
You start reading people,
yes.
or you just don't do certain things a certain way. You're like, I'm not doing it that way no more. I'm not dealing with that. But you just learn so much. So yeah, just go ahead, continue.
That's exactly what it is, though. You learn what not to do, or what worked really well and is successful, and then you bring into you with a new company or a new brand, which we have so much support, even just from like staffing, logistics, systems in place. Like, it's incredible how we're starting off now versus what where we were at 7 years ago when we knew nothing. Like, I'm talking like, contracts, lawyers, all that good stuff. We learned a lot.
Yeah, I understand that.
So I think that was the biggest piece just in all of it, like realizing that everything that's happened it's amazing. It's amazing because we're not making those same mistakes. Granted, there's going to be so many more things to learn because we're
never
truly
stop.
on our own. No, exactly.
Especially the bigger you scale, the more you want to grow, the more people you get. I mean, it's just you're never going to stop learning.
No, absolutely. And you don't want to.
No.
You don't want to. I constantly want growth as a mentality for not only myself, but my team. Like, I think my favorite part about growing this business has been the people. It is one of the hardest parts of owning a business.
I try to tell him people got to grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as like leading them or getting them on board or just shit listening.
All of it, every single part of it, because it's finding the right people. Like, your business is your baby. Like, no matter what kind of business, no matter how many businesses you own, your business will always mean more to you than anybody else on your team, as it should though, right? So I think it's about finding people that have a passion for whatever it is you're placing them into your company for. Like, right now, she's my right hand. She has been for the last 5 years, I think. And hers is customer service. She can talk to people and listen and grow with and develop like no one I've ever seen before. And that's an untrainable, right? I was just having this conversation with her. But, when it comes to tech, like, we've got so-and-so that's insanely creative and knows how, to pop out graphics that can help us with our systems, all of that. We've got people who can train, and they're really great. My husband's great at this. He can talk to people. He can manage people. He makes them feel comfortable at home, heard. So I think it's about finding people for the right positions, and your company will grow and scale like you've never seen before. But it's finding the people that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, and you're gonna keep lose people, gain more people, lose more people, even people you really like. It's just part of the game. Like, not a lot of things last, so you just take it step by step. That's all you can do. But tell us a little bit about the dissolving of the partnership. Let's get into that.
Like,
'Cause that's the
okay.
juicy stuff,
He's messy.
right?
is.
He's
It's
messy.
very
He's
juicy.
messy.
So I think, we dissolved the company with them, or not dissolved.
So it was a partnership?
It was a partnership.
Okay.
And
Was it 50-50?
It was complicated. It was
like a relationship.
Like a relationship. Where we
It was
just
an
talking about
entanglement. It was an entanglement.
entanglement. Exactly. So I won't be quoted, right? So
Just live,
yeah, that's all. Yeah, I think like one of the things that we learned from it is, contracts are important. I think like the legalities of having a business and a partnership together with someone else. There's a lot of communication and ways you're communicating, and like I mentioned, legal things. There's lots of different pieces to it. It's so much. It's so different from starting it on your own. Like right now, it's me and my husband. We're the ones that started this, and it's a very different experience. And there's a lot of things that I wish we could go back and could have done, but we didn't. And so we're now better for it. But no, I think just at the end of the day, after 7 years, there's certain values that didn't align, and that's okay. Not all partnerships are meant to last forever. I mean, we had 7 years. That was a good run.
It is a good run.
And learned a lot and built something that was pretty amazing, So I'm proud of all of our contributions, and, at the end of the day, very thankful for the opportunities and the things that we learned from the people that we did start this with. Because we, came into something that was small and that was growing, and, we helped it grow in a lot of different ways. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was time to part ways, and we're really, really excited. And again, like there's so much support this time around that when it was that feeling of like shit, we're starting over. It was like, no, we're really not. We have people, we have support, we had money, we had, you know what I mean? Like we weren't starting from, a $2,000 loan from my dad.
Yeah. Things are different.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little bit of because I don't know anybody with a placenta business, right? So can you give us
Only one.
Yeah. No, I've never met anybody with that kind of
Wow,
business.
that's
So this is
shocking,
kind of
right?
cool, right? But at the same time, can you give us like a day-to-day operations of how this business is operated? Because I remember you saying you had drivers and things like that. So just give us a little bit of day by day.
24 hours?
Yeah.
Or-
What are you guys doing?
Yes.
Okay,
so
6 a.m.
6 a.m., 3
Start.
a.m., 6 p.m. Doesn't matter. It's 24 hours a day, including all major holidays. That's where it's a little bit different too when people talk about like entrepreneurship. What's it like to run a business? Our business is 24 hours
Yeah.
a day. So like when we first started, before I had a lot of this, support with, customer service and dispatching and all that kind of stuff. It was just me. It was just me, my husband, and so it's constantly having phones attached. Right now, I got two phones with me at all times. At one point, I had 3.
Yeah.
So people are like, "What you doing with 3 phones?"
Trap phone.
I've had that question a lot. But it's just, you're constantly answering questions, answering calls. There's a sense of urgency with what we do. There's a sense of just, spontaneity. Like babies are born at all hours of the day, at all times. They don't wait for anybody.
That's what I was going to say too. So your business is a business that's literally can never go out of business
No.
because there's always people having babies.
Pregnant.
There's always pregnant people.
Yeah, there's always people having babies.
I mean, 2020.
Women are always
2021.
depressed. So I mean, there we go.
Wow! Oh shit! Yeah, he did. He said it. He said, "Did you see his face?"
I told you.
No, I think that's good because then we could just feed them this.
Oh,
I think
yeah?
any female watching, get on this.
Oh, but guess what? Okay, so I'll up you one. So, how many men have I gotten questions from? Can I take my wife's placenta capsules? We don't say yes or no. This, you do with it what you will.
They're gonna start saying, "Hey."
No.
Period.
They're like, "Oh, I've had so much energy. I've had this. I've had
They're all
that."
prancing.
But it's no.
Just like, go
But
ahead.
it
Go
is a
ahead.
question. It is a question I get asked. So it's funny that you say
So
that.
what does
Well-
it do to a man?
Well, because I know some guys when they want to grow hair, they put their birth control pills in. I've
No.
heard they put it in shampoo and it helps them like grow their
What?
hair. Yeah.
What? I have never heard that.
Hey, cuh.
Since when?
I've heard it.
I don't know anything
So
about that.
can you do it too? You
That's
do
a hey, cuh.
That's why his hair is gone.
I was like, I have no idea what he's talking about over here.
Where do you get the idea from?
I know. Hey, not over here.
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
But
Wait, no, not birth control. It's the
yeah, I was gonna say I don't
it's
know.
when you do get pregnant, it's the pills that you take.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Prenatal pills.
Prenatal pills.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Prenatal pills.
Yeah, those have said to.
Sorry, y'all.
to
I didn't mean
help
to.
with- No, birth control.
No.
You got people doing it right now.
Right.
Control.
Prenatal
Not you.
pills. Prenatal pills. Yeah. So is it something like that? Like.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so at the end of the day, stem cells, right? Like I feel like it's a what's the name? Like it's a trendy word right now, like stem cells. So your placenta though, that's got stem cells. So your amniotic sac, the umbilical cord, why do you think they bank the blood? Like there's these pharmaceutical companies, they make a lot of money off banking these things.
And who thought of this? That's what I want to know. Do you have like the background on this? Because this is crazy to me. Let's just
On
eat
what part?
some.
Well,
On-
when did they start, or when was it that it was started that people start eating placenta?
That's what
Now
I
we
would
know of,
question was.
like in the as far as the U.S. I
In
know
the
I know
US.
other countries have been doing it.
Yeah,
but,
right,
like, when did
right.
it become legal? Put it that way, legal.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's ever been legal or illegal.
So you're an actual drug dealer then?
I can neither confirm nor deny. No, this is, I mean, so I would say probably like 1970 or so is
That's when it
kind
started?
of,
Kinda
yeah,
started going
like kind of like more of that like hippie kind
okay.
of era. But I think when it really became popular was when Kim Kardashian talked about
So
it.
that's the first time. I've heard
I was about to
of
say, I heard about it then too.
That's or no, Courtney.
One of them said, and everybody was like,
Kourtney
"Ugh."
Kardashian,
They was
yeah.
He
like,
watches those
"Ugh."
kind of shows.
Yeah,
so
does he?
yeah.
He likes them after his birth
Me
control
and Kim
hair
K are best friends, she
shampoo.
just don't know yet.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, if I get in, we gonna be rich. We gonna make it. If you want me to get in.
Actually, it's funny. So when Kourtney Kardashian had Kourtney, the one that just had the baby,
The one that's always having babies.
the one that's always having
The one that's
babies,
always having babies.
that one.
Oh, this is girl talk. Okay, sorry. I'm not part of this part.
It's okay. You'll love this. You'll love this. No,
Yes, what else? What happened?
after she had the baby, I can't. Poor. No. So the company that we were previously affiliated with, we encapsulated her placenta.
Really?
Yeah, so she posted about it. It got a lot of traction and kind of like revamped how exciting it is to do this. But that's where I think it got the most like street cred.
Street cred.
Was after the Kardashians. But yeah, I think, but like I mentioned earlier, like there's a lot more of a like variety of things that people are doing with the placenta, but something that we really pride ourselves on because there is such a lack of regulation with the industry that we're in is we're bringing a sense of like clinical, a modern approach to this type of postpartum recovery.
So you guys have a lot of room to just do what you guys want, really. Then, that's dope.
Which is scary though. Because if you've got people that are doing it out of their kitchens, they're doing it in their laundry
Yes,
rooms.
that's
They're-
weird.
It's very unsanitary.
So we were talking about it earlier, and you were saying they charge you to take your own placenta from the hospital?
No.
They don't charge you?
No, people think that. No, so at the end of the day, right, you're a patient. Essentially, you're still paying the hospital for a service, even if it's going through your insurance company. You're paying them, right? So you have every legal right to your placenta. There was actually a court case in Texas. I want to say probably
'cause it's
over.
yours.
Yeah,
You should-
exactly.
you
It's
should
just
have
like your
right
baby.
to-
It's your baby. They can't tell you what to do with your baby. They can't tell you what to do with your body. But sometimes they make you feel like they can tell you,
Right.
and there's an intimidation factor.
They're always trying to punk
usually.
you, but you got to know
Sometimes.
what's up. You know what I
And I
mean?
don't want to say, like
Not
yes
all of
or
them,
no.
yeah.
But yeah, sometimes there's a very strong opinion
Yeah.
from your hospital staff. But the thing is we understand why, because they don't understand how we operate. We've been doing this for 7 years with no adverse reaction because we have lab-based facilities. We have medical grade decontaminants, stainless steel workstations, food grade plastics, you name it, we have it. We meet heated temperatures that recommended by the CDC to eliminate things like GBS, E. coli. So there's a sense of safety, regulation, and sanitation that we put into place that other, people, competitors in our industry don't. So it's hard because medical staff, they don't know that. So that's part of what we're also trying to change and, instill in at least our local community for now.
That's good. And then, how lucrative is this business?
Okay, so there's two parts to that question. One is I hate to look at it as that. Because at the end of the day, it really is, and I say this with my whole heart, it's about making sure that we're providing a service that's beneficial, safe, sanitary to our clients.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, money is money. We're all here to make money. It's a business. And it's a great business. It's something that takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication. You really have to want it, because if you don't, you're not going to feel like it's worth it, because
Yeah.
it's 24 hours a day. You're up at all hours. You're constantly dealing with somebody or something. So in that sense, I think it's worth it because it's something I believe in. But if Joe Schmo's looking to do it, they're probably not going to like it.
Yeah.
We always say anything you do for money. It's not,
Exactly.
It's only gonna last for so long, and then you're gonna either
Yes.
get tired of it or something.
Yeah, or you're gonna move on.
Yeah,
You should be able to at least start the business like loving it and like enjoying what you're doing and,
Yeah.
and with a purpose. But then at the end of the day, like it has to start making money,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but-
And that's we were fortunate that we started making money within our first year. We were profitable right off the bat, which was great. And even starting this new rebrand, it's still fantastic. Obviously,
shout it out. You haven't shouted out the name of it yet.
which one?
Of your new brand, all your
everything.
stuff.
Oh, Nuhealth Placenta Encapsulation.
So, do you have an
Yeah,
Instagram?
yes, we do. We have two. So we have my old one, which is like, it's like a personal business, right? So it's more about like entrepreneurship, day in and day out of what it's like to own a company like this, mixed in with all kinds of pregnancy, postpartum tips. And then we have just straight Nuhealth Placenta Encapsulation, which is all about the business, very straightforward. You're getting to know about pricing, product, process, all that good stuff.
And
So check us out.
You gave them the Instagram, right?
The first one's Nuhealth Placenta Encapsulation. The other one's Nuhealth_ Placenta Encapsulation.
And we got a lot of people watching right now, so we still got time. So you guys want to get into the chat, to the YouTube chat. You guys can ask questions, and also if you're on Rumble, because we got two people watching on Rumble too. So if you guys got Rumble Ranch, you guys can come in and ask questions too as well while we're live right now.
And then also, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Quick question. So how does it work as far as do like women like come like knock on your door with their bag of placenta and be
Yeah.
like, hey, can you literally? I'm like, so how do you get that? So how do you get that? So is it something where they call at the hospital? They call you at the hospital before they're released and say, hey, we want our, and then you guys meet them there and then go through and you go like, how is the process?
Yeah.
What's the process?
Sure. So it's really easy. What we do is when they contact us, we give them all the information because they're going to have a lot of questions, just like that. Like, how do I even do this? So we run down all the introductory information. We also we offer a simple ship option, so we're able to service nationwide as well as just here in SoCal. So what we do is we send you over a link. There's an initial deposit that you put down for our service because we're on call for you 24 hours a day.
And they're doing
right?
this at the hospital while they're at the hospital.
No, a lot of the times it's just while they're pregnant, second,
Oh, before-
third
okay,
trimesters.
before,
yeah.
okay.
But we do have moms, literally, they'll be pushing their babies out and their partners are like, hey, I want to do this.
No
We're
way.
like, yeah, sure, no, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, no problem. Let me send
Hold
you
my
this.
leg up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's wild that you're
Oh,
even
yeah.
thinking of that.
Oh, yeah.
When you're pushing out.
Probably forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like-
They do. Pregnancy brain's real. They're forgetting about all these other things they want to do. But we can absolutely accommodate. So
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, exactly. So we send them the deposit, and then we send them an intake form. They fill out all the information. We put their order together, send them off a confirmation number, and they're good to go.
So when they're hitting the emergency room
Oh,
doors,
yeah. Emergency room doors.
You guys are right behind them with the
Yeah,
with the box,
exactly.
ready to get the placenta.
No.
And stuff.
So they'll let us know when they're in labor, so it gives us somewhat of a heads up. Then all you do is you get to the hospital, you let your nurse know, hey, I'm keeping my placenta. It's not a question, it's not a request. This is what I'm doing with it. And then once you've delivered the placenta, the nurse has to legally put it into a biohazard bag or container. They cannot just give you an organ. And then that's when you let us know, and then we send out a courier to you, again, 24-hour access, and they come pick it up for you. They label it, they take it back to our facility for storage, and then we process the next day.
Are you guys hearing this, people? So you guys know what to do with your placenta.
Easy. 3 simple
That was a good
You ain't gotta
rundown of the
you
steps.
don't have to sneak off and put it in your Kaiser bag. It's legal.
Yes.
It's free.
It's yours. It's free. You don't have to pay for it.
The pills ain't though.
No.
The pills ain't.
So where do you want to see this business do? Like, what's your plans? What's your dream? Like for the next step of this business right now?
Yeah, well, I think first is just getting this up and running to a place where we get all of our staff back, because when we did rebrand, we did have to cut staff.
wow.
We were able to keep a lot of the backbone of it, and which is, life-saving. So we were able to keep a lot of that. So first, we'll obviously be bringing all of the staff back to full capacity. And then I think like full term, looking at 5-10 years down the road, we started a side project in the middle of our previous brand called Parent Space. And it's a platform for learning all about, from pregnancy up until, your teenage years, just access to resources for parents. So we're looking to be able to maybe include that into what we do as like a second part to Nuhealth, So
Explain it a little bit.
Like a Planned Parenthood, like you're training mothers to be.
like a Planned Parenthood.
I mean, that they show you how to.
Okay.
I don't
yes. No, I get what you're saying.
I'm learning too.
Parent Space being like a platform for parents, very inclusive. So all around every part of parenthood, you're able to kind of get to know us as a brand through Nuhealth, right? So pregnancy and postpartum and all
Community.
that. Exactly. And then it doesn't stop there. Now we have access through a portal for all of these other resources for you. So placenta encapsulation is your first resource you receive from us. Then let's look at, parenting experts for the toddler years. Let's look at lactation consultants for you when you're still nursing your baby in those first few months. Let's look at, I don't know, things from like elementary students looking into high school. There's so many different aspects of parenting that you need support with. And right now, you have so much of it everywhere. You've got your best friend, Susie Q, over here. You've got Instagram, with whoever over here telling you one thing. And you've got your
All
mom
these
and dad.
weird coaches and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's a coach.
Exactly. So if you had vetted professionals on a platform that you could trust, that's what the goal would be.
So what's your plan with the platform? Explain the platform. Like what would you guys be doing? Like how can someone go to you guys?
So
I like this. It actually sounds very interesting.
It was a passion project that we really went full force in and had to pause on. But what we got as far as, so it kind of ended up turning into, I hate to say it, but like a Facebook, right? So you have a login, here's all your resources. If you're excited about one, you can almost like subscribe, right? So you follow them. What other content are they posting?
You should probably have you heard of like Patreon?
Right. So that was kind of what we started looking at.
You guys should get into they have because Patreon's considered like the Walmart now of a community. We're on Locals. So Rumble owns Locals now. So we have HowlersDen.locals. You can join our community for like $5 a month.
Yeah,
and they can subscribe and things like that. But you can put it up as much as you want. So the deeper you get in, the more you can charge whatever you want, like $100 a month, $35 a month on different things on higher levels of the community. But that's something
an interesting, concept.
So that's another thing you can also do with your community.
Yeah, because see, there's so many of those. I want to be one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be the go-to for parenting. Like, what do you need to know? Don't worry, we got you. And these are vetted professionals.
Do you already have vetted professionals right now?
We did start acquiring a few that we had done podcasts with, that we had gotten to know through our Instagram community, through just the local community, different ultrasound techs, lactation consultants, labor and delivery nurses, parenting coaches. But because we put a pause on this 2 years ago, it's not something we've evolved much from that.
We even have a guy that's going to be coming on here he has a system called Dad Academy, and it's basically a business plan on how to be a dad. He's out of Orange County, so he'll be coming on here as well.
I think I've heard of him.
His name's Jeff, I believe. He's
He's
a pastor too.
Okay. That's awesome.
But yeah, so like things like that, I want our platform to be about stuff like that because a lot of this stuff out here is garbage that they're putting out. It's not even real. It's like people fake being coaches and all that. Like on this platform, if we bring somebody on and we feel like we vetted them enough, when they come on, if they're talking a bunch of BS, we are going to drill them. That's just how it's going to be with our platform. We don't want no fakes. We don't want none of that. So hearing this is cool. Like you're really going to vet people out and get real professionals to be part of that. I like that.
Because there's too much out there. Even for me, too. I was like, wait, you're saying this, and then what? Who do I believe?
Well, a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about.
They're Googling it.
Yeah.
Like, what is parenting for toddlers? Okay, there.
And then we have people just teaching people wrong information, like completely wrong, creating their own philosophy and their own theories.
True.
It's like, dude, you're tripping. Just because you're a YouTuber, you don't know what you're talking about.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know who who you
No,
are.
yeah.
You're watching.
So Loki, we just I had a debate with one of the biggest YouTubers out right now.
He just bald.
No, I'm not gonna say his name.
Oh, no.
But it got brutal. We got serious.
Juicy.
We got real serious at the end. But yeah, he's a fake fighter, a fake all kinds of stuff. We're real on that part. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
We've trained all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's trying to create his own philosophy on
certain ways of living.
basically married to multiple wives when he's not even married to one right now. So he's just full of crap. You know what I
Okay.
mean,
That's
so
interesting.
yeah, it just but he got real. He's tried to talk a lot of mess, and he had no idea what he was talking about. We probably got a lot of his people watching because we have a lot of people watching on both platforms right now. So we even have because we gained a lot of his fans.
Oh.
And
Oh.
Even through all of
because
the...
I in a sense threatened him a little bit at the end, you know. And a lot of people were writing back to us about, you guys, this guy, he punked out, da 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 da. You know what I mean?
But at the end of the day, thanks for the 100,000 views. We appreciate it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we got like 100,000 people watching our stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of went crazy because of it. So this happened on Friday.
Oh, okay. So we see.
Yeah.
Enough
So,
of him. Enough
so
of him.
you have a lot of people watching right now, probably
Enough
because
of
of that thing.
Oh, perfect. Well, I love that.
Say hi.
Thank you, whoever that was.
Enough of him. So, but
Yeah.
what are the since we've said everything that's good about it? Are there any bad parts about it? Like, you know, every medicine that you see on TV, you know, you might take it, you might go blind, deaf,
right?
and you know what I mean,
Blind, deaf, heart attack,
all that. You know what I mean?
die. Yeah.
Is there any
no.
side effects, or can you overtake the placenta?
Yeah, can you overtake?
So it's a good question because people do ask that. My memory's short. Okay, so what's wrong
You need
with
some
it?
placenta. Hold on, let me
Take a pill.
No,
Can you bring some placenta in here real quick for her?
no. So as far as adverse reactions, side effects.
Yeah.
No side effects. The reason why, one, is because of our process. So that's something important to remember.
I wouldn't think there would be either.
Because it's your body.
Yeah, it's like eating,
You're
like,
not-
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Too much of drinking water is bad for you. Like, you know what I mean?
okay,
But
girl.
so-
But you would think that's the only reason why I asked. There you go.
Sure.
Here you go. Here you
Yeah,
go.
water-
Here we go. Too much water. Yeah.
It is.
Water is bad.
I just
No.
water is bad, people.
Don't
Too
drink
much.
it.
See? I was,
Alcohol. Drink alcohol.
So it's not man-made. It's not manufactured. It's not synthetic, right? So whatever was in your body is literally going back into your body. We have a reputable capsule company called Capsuline. So the ingredients are good. There's nothing harmful. We've got gelatin-free option. So a vegan option in case that's a situation.
wait a minute. You have vegan
Yeah.
pills?
Yes.
That's wild.
They're flavorless. You have to have a vegan option.
What is going
Right?
on?
Those are for like the hardcore.
Beyond
you know,
pills
the-
and shit?
Yeah, because you got to be pretty
Beyond
wild to do
pills?
that.
Because you know the meat, they call it Beyond Meat and stuff like that
Oh.
for the vegans?
Just like that. Yep.
Oh, wow.
So the only thing we add to it is lemon, ginger, and cayenne pepper. There's a place on that intake form if you have an
That's all
allergy
good
to
for you.
either.
Yeah.
Exactly. So as far as that goes, no. And then as far as your other question, can you take too many? So the way that we're dosing you, a recommendation, you're just slowly putting it back into your body in a regimen for the next few weeks, right? But the thing about these capsules is no, you can't take too many because again, it's something that comes from your body. It's not an over-the-counter. It's not an antibiotic that you're going to have those reactions
milligrams
from.
and stuff, yeah.
Right, exactly. You don't have to weigh it out. In fact, I do tell moms that yes, we're giving you a recommendation, but every person's body is going to be different, right? So what works for you might not work for me. I might need more support, especially moms who are prone to, postpartum depression or they're, depression while they're pregnant or low milk supply. There's so many different reasons they would want to take more. But like I give them an example. You have a really long night with baby. You're up every 2 hours nursing. You're going to want to take a couple extra in the morning because it gives you that extra energy, right? Got things like iron, things like that. For me, by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's hard. So I would take a couple extra and it kind of helps, again, rebalance things. It's got cortisol, so it helps lower a lot of those stress levels, those stress hormones. So it's just great all around.
Man, women are so stressed.
You own a business. Aren't you stressed 24 hours too?
I am though.
What are you
Actually,
Don't
talking
you see the
about?
gray hairs?
but when I'm around him though, he makes everything funny. So I'm like,
No, it's fine. See, it's about the people. That's the thing, the people
is.
you're
The
around.
people in the placenta, you know what I mean?
The
That's
people in the
what it is.
placenta. Exactly.
So, is there? And you say there's different flavors. As far as is that for the juices in the liquids, or is that for the pills also?
For the juices?
Because you said there's smoothies that you guys have.
Oh, we don't do those. Those
you
are one of the things that we. So there's two pieces we don't recommend. So when you mention like when is it bad?
Yeah.
So there's birth is dirty. Okay, there's a lot that happens, right? And it's not always sanitary. So we make sure that when we get your placenta, we give it back to you completely consumable. So that means, again, meeting certain temperatures, just like you do with raw chicken, right? You would never eat a piece of raw chicken.
Yeah.
Like it might have salmonella, it might be just fine, but you don't know, right? So you cook it to specific temperatures, but you're still retaining that bioavailability. You're getting your protein, you're getting all the nutrients from the chicken. Same thing with your placenta. We're meeting specific temperatures that allow us to safely consume. It's a sanitary environment. So things like smoothies aren't necessarily the safest way. You could be totally fine and everything works out for you, but it's not something I would personally recommend.
You could drop the pill in the smoothie, but like.
Sure, yeah. Well, a lot of times moms can't take pills, so we tell them
yeah.
just pop them open and put them in a smoothie.
Yeah.
Put them in a glass of water.
So we got PR1NC3SS.
Great
Oh, wow.
1Z. It says he or she says great information.
Oh, thank you.
So you got some fans up here
I
looking
think,
at
we
you.
need to, I think we need to take like a little field trip tour, like you know what I mean, through the factory,
Like how it
put
all
a,
works.
put a cap on, you know what I mean,
Hazmat
and
suit.
right, and walk through. I want to see it made.
I love it. It's definitely a pretty cool process. I don't have like a fear of blood or anything like that, and no one that
He's
works
scared
for
of
us
everything.
does. So if you do, I
Scared
don't
of
recommend.
things we should be. I'm scared of what we should be scared of.
Oh yeah.
A bug. Yes.
I mean, you don't want to touch blood. I remember that was always a thing my mom said. I was in kindergarten. I'll never forget it. She's like, "Don't touch someone else's blood."
And you do?
And now I do for a living, but I don't touch it with my hands.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's gloves and all of that, but still, that's always in the back of my head.
So with this business, so you guys end up dissolving the partnership and all that kind of stuff. So what's been the hardest thing that you've had to do to stay in business, to basically run? Because everybody goes through trials. Like you said, you went through that trial, but is that the hardest thing you have done in business, or is there anything else that you can talk about that's been a struggle?
Oh, there's so many.
Let's hear one.
Like,
Let's hear one for the
which
audience.
One? What's the safest one?
No, we're like, we can cuss anything on here. So whatever you want to say.
perfect.
Oh yeah, this is the house over bad.
I love it.
We do what we want.
Shit.
See,
Oh,
that was
wait.
hard for him though.
Fuck.
You see that?
No. No, I think, okay, in all honesty, aside from anything you could have with like a business partner or with clients or with people or anything like that, it's about, I think, home life. For me, owning a business has affected the home life in the sense of roles and responsibilities and balancing all that.
Time.
Time, because, I mean, eventually you'll get to the place, but it's either time or it's money. One of the two. Very rarely is it both. So I think between my husband and I, you know, having a brand new business, having a brand new baby at that time 7 years ago, we have, over the course of this time, really gotten a hold on how we work together as a community in our home, right? It's not just one person is, you know,
I like that.
doing all of the things and one person runs the business and this person's cleaning all the time or taking care of the baby or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's the 20 when I can be 70. It's his 60 when I can be 40 or whatever those, I'm not great at math, but whatever those percentages are, that's what it is. It's not 50-50. And it was like when you finally get over that hump of realizing that it's not going to be 50-50, especially when one's at a 9 to 5, the other one's owning a business, or the other one's doing both and you're not doing anything, whatever it is.
We gotta get you on the DNR explaining this to these females.
I am so nervous about that. I'm like,
Wait,
do
she
I
said
really
yeah?
want to do that?
No, I don't know yet. We don't know yet. We're still thinking about it.
Scissors.
Hey, but saying that,
Right now.
yeah, because saying that to a lot of any side,
Don't say IE.
No, I'm not saying. I was just say girls to women.
Yeah,
Like-
girl, guy.
To women, I think in any side, it's kind of like it goes hand in hand. Because, I mean, I know I'm single. I'm not married anymore, but I have my kids 50-50, and no matter what happens when I have them, I drop everything. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if there's a huge event, things like that. I'll just drop it. I'd rather go be with my kids, spend all that time with them. I think that's the most important. A lot of people, I feel like our parents were work, and just they don't see you. And that's how they were trained. That's how they were raised. That work was number one, but it's really not. I mean, you could still work really hard, but you're not going to get what you really want, especially when you're working for somebody else. Like, I mean, you can only go so far, you know. And it's like you spent that no time with your kids. I feel like you need to put all that time into them, you know. So that's what I do, and we talk about that a lot on the podcast. I don't. All that other stuff is just BS. Everything's going to fade and everything burns one day, you know? So I put my time into my kids.
And that's a hard thing to do, though.
It
I
is.
think. Because for so long, and my husband, I'm real honest, he's had to check me so many times because I'm like, work. I have to work. I have to make money. And I'm like, wait, you have a brand new baby. You have a kid. You have a family. So it's taken me a few years to really understand that. And now I'm in a place where, yes, I'm like, okay, we're 24 hours. It's really hard. And there's all these people that whatever. No, okay, right now I'm at a school function. I'm doing, what did we do the other day? We're like end of the year tournament with the races and the stuff like that. And I was like, okay, put your phone down for an hour. It's okay. Everyone's going to survive. So.
And that's what I do. I'm like, I don't even care. I'll put my phone down too, even when I'm like wanting to grab it.
Right?
You know? I'm like, okay.
It's hard.
Yeah. I'm just like, no, just chill.
Yeah.
Let's listen to what they have to say because they're going to remember all that.
Exactly.
They're going to remember all of that.
Yeah. And your work part is one small piece.
It's not going to change anything.
No,
it's really
that
not.
one text message to that person.
For an hour is not going to change. I mean, there are things, obviously, that can change your life on it, you know, but it's really not going to change. For 1 hour, you can get right back to them. You know what I mean? So you lead the business, or you're the main person in charge of the business?
Since we've rebranded, it has been amazing. My husband and I, that's where we have been 50-50.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of background in what we were doing prior, like in terms of systems we have had in place and just how it all operates, customer service, customer interactions. But he's got SEO, graphics. He's working with this developer. He's creating a website that's a shop.
He's more creative on that side, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're both very creative in a lot of ways, but he's
the branding side.
Yeah,
that's cool. I love that side too, though. It's fun.
It's
the fun side. That's why.
Yes.
The other part's work. You know,
it's so much work. And dealing with people is hard.
Yeah.
You guys have a location?
So we're based out of Ontario. We do have a lab-based facility due to insurance purposes, though. It's funny you mentioned doing a tour. Yeah. It's not a storefront. So we can only have people who have, so we're triple certified. Anyone that's allowed to be in the lab, aside from our couriers, they're just doing drop-offs. So you've got your food handler's license, you've got your OSHA bloodborne pathogen certification, and then a placenta preparation arts certification.
And those are the only people that could be in this facility? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So how many employees have you had at a certain amount of time? Like I know before it shut down, you had more employees.
Yes.
How many did you have?
Number wise, so it was myself. It was Megan. It was Lorena. It was Daniel. We had Maria. At one point, transporters tend to come in and out because it's more of like an Uber situation, right?
Okay.
It's an Uber for placentas. That's when people ask me, so what is the job description? It's an Uber for placentas. There was, I think at one point, we had 7 or 8 different couriers. We had the 2 girls on the phones that dispatched, and we had the 2 encapsulators, and then we had 1 girl that just did all deliveries. So whatever that makes it out to.
You have a really moving business then. It's moving then pretty quick,
it's 24 hours too.
But it's just crazy because there's a lot of people doing a lot of things.
Yes, and the beautiful part is we've created systems where everyone works independently. So the dispatchers, they don't need to be there in our facility or in an office. They're all working remote.
Yeah.
So I was really proud when COVID happened. I was like, well, we already have that in place.
Everybody was struggling, and
but
you were already
requires,
remote.
like, we had a developer who's amazing with us. He developed a whole system where we can talk to each other through our CRM. So they can see, if they're scheduling deliveries, they see what stage the placenta's in. If there's someone out doing a pickup, they come in, they check it in. Our dispatcher's able to see when the placenta's in, who has it, who's out in the world picking something up. I mean, I am so proud of what we built. So we're taking that same systems, though, into this new rebrand. So that's where, like, not starting over comes into place. Where it's like, there's a little bit of a deep breath there,
Yeah. Okay, so one because we're running out of time right now, but I do want to ask you, what is the ultimate vision for this business?
I think it's even bigger than placenta encapsulation. That is where we're starting, but I think with the parent space and really becoming like a go-to, the ultimate resource for parenting. When people think I'm pregnant, it's like, oh my God, okay, so I need to encapsulate my placenta, but I also have these incredible resources, this platform that I can go to and I can feel supported and I get real information. That's what I would love to be, a resource for parents.
So how deep are you into that right now? Are you pretty deep? Because that'd be great to have you and your people come on the show and talk about that. I love that.
I would love to.
A couple moms
Unfortunately,
will
my mouth
take it.
keeps touching this.
Hey,
No. Bad. No,
you guys heard it.
I hate that this is live. Can we cut that part out?
It's all live in real time.
100,000 people.
Yeah, we have
That's
a lot
all.
of. We're almost at 400,000 people watching
Amazing.
the whole podcast.
I'm so happy
everybody
they
saw that.
You saw it, you heard. Maybe it's on mute.
No, it's not.
No, so we did have, we spent about a year developing Parent Space, put a pause on it. So that's, I want to say, maybe, 15% of the way. So we still have work to do, but this is moving a lot quicker than we had anticipated. So I anticipate that coming back. Like I said, within the next maybe 5 years is my goal.
Okay.
I meant to ask, do you guys sell outside, outside of the person who's has anybody ever given?
I love that you asked that question.
And they don't want it for themselves, but they say here you could have it, and then you actually sell it to other people, like put it in.
I thought someone asked, but no. So we just do.
Oh, so
just to the mothers, just to the
mother, and that's again for insurance purposes, liability purposes. I'm not taking someone random person's placenta and giving it to someone else.
Oh, dang.
They're selling it or anything like that. It's not some like black market. I had a mom go, "How do I know that you're not going to just take my placenta? I don't want your placenta. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
I will give it back to you."
Yeah.
So
wild.
it's not something that we would sell. We've had people want to sell them to us. We don't do that. We've had moms that are like, well, if I do this, can I give them to so-and-so or whatever? We give them back to you. What you do with them is on you. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how was your experience on the show?
It was awesome.
Had a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, we've done podcasts before, and they were all like motherhood, kind of like family based. So this was the first that was kind of out of that realm, and then the first as Nuhealth. So this was kind of monumental.
Yeah.
It was our first. You're our first.
Eric keeps going. Look, he doesn't even know what to say on that. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We like being people's first.
Yeah.
Do you?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Not the last.
So our slogan is "Shed the Sheep." Can you look at our camera and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, shed the sheep.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shed the sheep. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You want to do one last shout out about your business real quick right before we go?
Yeah,
Name and all that.
definitely. So check out Nuhealth Placenta Encapsulation. We've got Instagram, Nuhealth Placenta Encapsulation, and Nuhealth_Placenta Encapsulation. If you're pregnant, if you know someone that is, please feel free to reach out, and we can't wait to be part of it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. Thanks, Liza. This was a good episode.
Yes.
Sure. Shout out Liza.
Love you,
Shout out
Liza.
to Liza. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're having another episode right after this at 6. So
6:15.
tune in. About 6:15, we'll be going. But thanks, everybody, for watching. How's Over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
And we are out.